All right, this is CSB 853 coming at you full throttle. So, this is another part to add on to the amazing story of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Man, I'll fix this here and fix that there. All right, so I just wanted to add something. There was two actresses who came up with declarations, and after Kate James came out talking about daily humiliation, she actually used that, saying it was a daily humiliation. She was abusive to her verbally, physically, mentally. She used her son to manipulate Johnny Depp and everything. So first, we are going to talk about Johnny's situation with a couple people, because even during and a little bit before this court case happened, there are, let me fix this real quick. All right. There are actual people who, exes and things, who came out and was like, yeah, Johnny was never like that. I guess the media was hunting for something and they couldn't find it. So we have Winona Ryder. Now, I really like Winona Ryder. Some of these people seem like they never aged. Like, Winona Ryder looks just as good now as she did back in like the 90s. Just a little older, and I don't mean that in the sense of that. I mean like more mature, as in taller. Like, besides that, she looks pretty much the same. Same with Johnny. Johnny barely looks like he aged. Um, it's just, I find it amazing. And the other person too, I'm like, wow, you guys like don't age really. But anyway, I just find that interesting. Why? So you have Winona, who, for what looks like, she knew Johnny. They met in around like '89. They did Edward Scissorhands. Um, Let me see. I think I wrote that. I think they were in. I think she was in Crybaby, with him. Drawing a little bit of a blank there. I think I even wrote that down. Um, Trying to think of the other movie they were in. There was another movie I think they were in too. Anywho, so basically, what's going on is that Winona said things when they talked about it. She actually put like a court document. I'm just paraphrasing, but she pretty much said, like, to her, it's impossible to believe that he would ever commit an act of domestic violence. Uh, they were together. Oh, Crybaby. I might have said that. It just clicked in my head. Whatever. I might have said it already. I don't care. But basically, that she looks at him as a friend and pretty much like family. Um, they were together for about 4 years, but she knew him even longer than that. They were, I think, engaged, and it just didn't work out. Uh, she said she can't wrap her head around the accusation. She doesn't want to call Amber a liar, but he was always very protective and safe on Reality Bites. Ah, there you go. I knew it would come to me eventually. Sorry, it's brain farts. Um, but yeah, so on Reality Bites, he took care of her. Now, she said that when she first met him and everything, he was very shy, had a quirky sense of humor. He seemed very nice, never was violent towards anyone, or anything like that. She's known him as a friend and everything, and it's just like, we have another person coming out talking about how awesome Johnny Depp is. You know, she says she wasn't there for some of the stuff, but still. After dating him for years, after being with him and all that stuff, isn't it very interesting how she's coming out, she's talking about it, uh, and it doesn't seem they were lovers, you know, dated and everything, and nothing seems to be bad about it, like, at all. While apparently Amber, after Johnny and her broke up, she texted him post breakup, like, I love him, I'm sorry, but she was doing it through the agent or whatever, because she put the restraining order. And even when you hear some of the stuff, Johnny's like, why you have the restraining order then, if that's the case? Cuckoo. um and Amber's like saying she lost parts and stuff, which she didn't. But Winona, you know, says she can't really speak on that stuff. She only can speak on the things that she knows. And pretty much she's like, Johnny's always been a good guy. He's always been nice. He's always been sweet. He's always been kind. He's never been violent or anything. And you start to hear this sentiment a lot from like a lot of his exes and stuff. So the other person who known him is Penelope Cruz. And she apparently has known him for around 25 years, 26 years. With that, she said the first thing licks of English she ever learned was hello and something like that, and I want to work with Johnny Depp. And that was all the English she knew. And they worked on 3 movies together. We know Pirates was one of them. Blow was another. I don't remember the other one. But she said that same thing. He was very shy. He had a quirky sense of humor, and he was kind, and he never seemed to be violent towards anyone. And they've known him for years. Now, here's, like I said, I got a couple notes. That's why you see me looking down. Now, here's what's funny. When it comes to Penelope Cruz, she put, I'm trying to see if I have some of the stuff here. Yeah, he is always kind to everyone. Like, come on. He just always seemed like a kind soul, whatever. Not a bad person, kind, brilliant, talented, strange sense of humor. Like, these are words that we're saying and a lot of people reflecting. He was sweet. He's been protective, kind, again, around her pregnancy. Now, thing is, I think when they were shooting Pirates, she actually was pregnant. You could see it like she was a little thicker. All looked great. She looked amazing. But, like, you know, there. And with those scenes and stuff, Johnny was apparently very protective of how everything was handling and stuff. He was very worried about it. But here's the clincher. Her husband was totally fine and actually totally liked the fact that Johnny Depp was there working with her. Like, he actually was like, yeah, that's great. That's a great person to work with, because he knew his wife was in safe hands. Doesn't that sound like somebody who's just a crazy, abusive, crazy monster guy who didn't let you speak, even though in the recordings we clearly could hear that you were speaking all the time, and you pulled your hair and stuff, you delusional freaking weirdo. It's just a delusional weirdo. But anyway, so not everyone is comfortable around people being around them when they're pregnant. You know, I'm talking about like females and things. And she was very comfortable with Johnny being there. She actually appreciated it and liked him being there. And that says a lot about a person's character. And these are constants where when people seem to come up about Amber Heard, it's always the same thing. She was terrible. She was terrible, verbally abusive, physically or mentally abusive, humiliated. It's like you always hear the same stories. When it's Johnny, it's shy, nice, quirky sense of humor, never was violent, never had to hurt a soul. When it's her, it's always she's a monster. So, yeah. Now, from what I understand, I think even in this situation, she texted Johnny Depp about Elon Musk was a rebound. And I remember seeing some pictures where it looked like he got a black eye. And Elon Musk is very quiet. Now, here's what's interesting about that. He said something about he wasn't ready to date or anything like that or something weird. And he's a very private guy and very stuff. He doesn't like a lot of drama. Isn't it interesting how he met his current wife, I think she is now, like within a month or two after he said he wasn't ready and they both were too busy and no relationships. And he just didn't have time for relationships or anything like that, but he found his wife. And people did notice that he seemed to have a black eye. Does that seem weird? Also, just think about the level of ego that's there. I have one of the richest people in the world, one of the most, a very progressive mind and everything, and he's just a rebound. Because I'm Amber Heard. I'm Amber Heard. All hell Amber Heard. Give me free clothes, free stuff. I gotta get with this old man to do it. Come on. So, let's be real here. I'm going to say, I knew they had that petition out or whatever. I don't know why people keep doing petitions. They never work. Seriously? Can you name one time a petition work? Because I can't. For like changing a movie person or something. But I'm glad it's out there because she should be replaced. But we also have to remember something too. She might be under a certain contract and can't do that. Remember, when it's like, when you hear about Marvel, DC contracts and stuff, these are like 3 or 4 films. So they probably don't want to pay her out forever like they did with Marlon Wayans. Marlon Wayans was going to be Robin. Maybe one day I'll cover that if I remember it when I review the movie. Like I said, if I remember it. But he still gets paid to this day from that. Andrew Garfield still gets paid for Amazing Spider-Man because he was signed on to do, I think, like 2 more movies. And when they don't fulfill the contract, they do that. So if they remove her, try to break the contract, they may have to keep continuing paying and stuff. So it's kind of a slippery slope because some people are like, well, I won't see it. And I was kind of like that too. But I was like, well, if they got that kind of contract, that they may not want to pay. I mean, I understand you may not want to pay her out, and completely cutting her throughout the thing and doing that. At the same time, you can afford it. Buy out her contract. There is an option to do that. She may not want to, but buy out the contract, give it to someone who actually deserves it and not a monster. So, yeah. This woman. This woman. So, as more as the case goes, Johnny Depp seems to be always looking and seeming like just a really good guy, and Amber seems to be just crazy. So, just saying. All right, that's enough. I'm gonna get to some fun stuff. I'm tired of talking about this for now, but as more stuff progresses, something big happens, we'll see. So, this is CSB 853. Signing off. Stay safe. Don't be monsters. And if you are, please go get help. If you notice that you're doing it, just please. This woman is just, she's just disgusting. All right. Have a nice one. Oh.